If you're not a big graphic novel reader, you may assume that they only feature superheroes. Well, you're wrong. And it's okay to be wrong, both because you are human, and also because if you weren't, there'd be no purpose to this video. Anyway, there are hordes of fantastic graphic novels out there which have nothing to do with people that put on cool outfits to fight evil. Spaceman is about a guy named Orson who was the product of a NASA experiment which attempted to genetically engineer people capable of sustaining long-term space travel. The program that sent him to Mars has long since been shut down, and Orson lives as a scrap metal salvager who suddenly finds himself the main suspect in a kidnapping case. That's just the tip of the iceberg in this book filled with beautiful noirish art. Love sucks, even in the future. 100% is a series of intertwined romances set in a strip club in the drug and sex-fueled cyberpunk future of 2038, where people watch holographic projections of dancers' internal organs, date in virtual reality, and smoke legal marijuana. The black and white artwork captures the emotions of 6 young people: a stripper, a bartender, a manager, a busboy, an artist, and a fighter, who all either work for or frequent the club called the Cat House. Set in a world where a futuristic civilization has risen, crumbled, and been reclaimed by nature, Apocalyptic Girl follows a young woman named Arya as she tries to keep herself and her cat, Jellybeans, alive. Side note, Jellybeans is the greatest name for a cat ever, and we have suggested to Andrew Lloyd Webber that he rename that sexy white cat Victoria in Cats to acknowledge this. This is the greatest name for a cat ever. Okay, anyway, the two search for the parts to fix a rusted ancient giant robot named Gus. The story is charming, optimistic, and character-driven, with great world building and an infectious sense of adventure. Also, the cat. Punk Rock Jesus tells the story of a kid who was supposedly cloned from the Shroud of Turin and whose entire life was turned into a reality TV show. Think Jesus Meets the Truman Show. When he eventually finds his way off the island, which he was confined to his whole life, he does the one thing any self-respecting rebellious teen would do. He joins a punk rap band. It's funny, it's subversive, and it's just plain weird. I mean, a clone of Jesus goes punk. It's sacrilegious. Get it? Okay, sorry. This Philip K. Dick novel was the inspiration for Blade Runner. Boom Studios adapted it, and wouldn't you know, it got nominated for an Eisner. The great thing about this is it's totally and painstakingly faithful to the original work. Seriously, nothing is cut and everything is visualized. In this story, the Vatican of the near future sends a military force back in time to Constantine's empire in order to prevent the Catholic Church from ever going out of power. However, the 5,000 men sent back find controlling history more challenging than they anticipated. The visuals here are incredibly unique, filled with beautiful coloring and brimming with timelines and charts. This is like manna from heaven for an infographic nerd. Yes, this is the same Usagi that appeared in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but this is not a Ninja Turtles story. It's about a samurai rabbit taking on invaders from Mars. It sounds bonkers, and it sort of is, but it's also totally riveting. Grant Morrison and Frank Quietly, the writer and artist of We Three, have quite the resume together. Batman and Robin, All-Star Superman, Flex Mentello, Multiversity. We Three may be the cream of the crop. It's like Homeward Bound mixed in a twisted sci-fi Cuisinart. A dog, a cat, and a rabbit are being turned into experimental weapons, and instead of living their lives as lab rats, they decide to escape. It's 1, violent, 2, heartbreaking, and 3, violently heartbreaking, and shows just how powerful the graphic novel can be. Run, don't walk. This story follows a detective named John DeFool to a distant dystopian planet where he discovers a powerful crystal and is hunted by various political factions. It's a flawless and mind-altering read, but the story behind it is even more interesting. It started as concept art that Jean Giraud and Alejandro Jodorowsky created for Jodorowsky's Dune remake that went bust. It also has that unique French Fantastic Planet Valerian acid trippy thing going on. It's good. What other non-superhero graphic novels are worth reading? Do your fellow Americans and us a favor by letting us know in the comments.